Can I call him your man?
My man, yeah, my man Kanye. My man Kanye. Just for the record, right? Like I said to you, I have never liked this guy, right? I've never liked any of his music particularly. What was that song? What was the only song of his that I liked?
Isn't it the one with
The Gold Digger song.
Yeah,
that was it.
With the actor, isn't it? What's his name?
Gold Digger with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I ever liked of his. Outside of that, everything else that he does, you know, I've never been particularly impressed. I don't like his clothing line. I think it's ridiculous. His clothing line reminds me of, do you remember that in Zoolander they had that derelict thing?
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. And it's like, you know, it's to me, it just seems like a joke. And it's the media telling me that I'm supposed to think he's a genius. And it's the media that keeps on telling me that I'm supposed to think, you know, these amazing things about his innovation and all the rest of it. So yeah, but yeah, he's in the news again, our friend Kanye.
I mean, I get it. It's like his acting. If you told a man that was heartbroken, just say whatever the hell you want and don't worry.
There will be no repercussions.
Yeah, I've got your back.
Yeah.
This is what you would expect the dude to do. But then this is real life. And instead we're like, oh, he's a genius. It's like, just let him be. But this is certifiable.
No, it's not just certifiable. It's dangerous. So, I mean, basically what we're talking about here is the yesterday's, what was it? What was the song called? The release of Eazy.
Yeah, his song.
And then today, you know, obviously Kanye's divorce is now finalized with Kim.
No, it's not.
No, sorry, no, yeah, it's not. It's not finalized.
The single.
They've been declared single.
Yeah.
So she now has the right to revert back to her original name and drop the West. And well, Kanye is just going to continue to be Kanye.
He's dropping, you know, beautiful music.
Yeah, but apparently he's pissed off that she's using his daughter or something in on TikTok or something like that.
No. Okay, his daughter is doing TikToks.
All right.
And it actually popped up in my feed when I set up a new account. For some reason, they suggested, and I went and checked it out. It's nothing.
What do you mean?
It's like, it's not like, it wasn't any content that you think, oh my God, it's just a kid walking around. She's doing funny faces, doing some editing. She might do some lip sync with her mom. You know, it's just a kid messing around. Nowadays, you have parental guidance to oversight.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay for your kids to get used to all these media platforms. It's not crazy.
So, I mean, he was. You said he was cheating on his missus before. He was cheating. He was caught cheating with Kim, or what was that all about? What?
No, well, everyone is sort of
the rumor.
It's not so much. The rumor came about because he dropped the song Hurricane, and in there that he put a lyric that after 2 kids he's still messing around.
Okay.
Well, knowing Kanye, he draws from life for his lyrics. So everybody's jumping on that. But then, you know, no one's confirming. And apparently he even hooked up with an A-lister. And I don't know, some articles were saying it's Christina Milian.
Okay. Is Christina Milian an A-lister? What's she famous for now? I remember she had that song.
Well, she has the music. Didn't she do like a reality show about her life? I think she did that as well. But anyway, well, they're saying A-lister, that's the name that I... But then the irony is he was going around accusing Kim that she cheated on him.
Yeah, but I think that's that psychotic nature. Essentially, if you do something wrong yourself, you're projecting, aren't you? You're sort of like, if you're doing it, you're worried that everybody around you's doing it.
Which is ironic, because the guy that she was accusing her, that he was accusing her of sleeping with, he said, no, that dude is my boy. The person that is out of line is Kim, which is,
wow.
You know, so it's ironic that he does that.
Wow.
But now that they, you know, divorced and legally single, he's going at her new man like a psycho.
Yeah, I mean,
so he needs to make up his mind.
I mean, we've talked about this before, but I mean, look, I seriously, I don't see the big thing about Pete Davidson. He doesn't wow me in any way, but fine, you know, that's her decision. She wants to go with that guy. But recently, after watching that Eazy track, I was shocked at that video.
It's graphic.
That was pure threat, nothing else. It just felt like he was going publicly and threatening the crap out of him. He's basically saying that this is what I'm going to do to you. And now the roses that he sent to Kim on Valentine's Day seriously sound a lot more sinister, because you know that truck of roses that he sent over.
That you thought, oh, that's my man is bleeding. He's hurting.
I thought that's what the case. I mean, I argued the toss about it last time. I said, oh no, but this is some seriously crazy stuff, and it is certifiable. It's to the point where if it wasn't for Kanye's money, in the real world, you would get into a lot of trouble.
It's two things. You can be it's certifiable, or Pete Davidson better get restraining orders.
It's worrying if that's going on in his head, in Kanye's head, and this is after he's dated like, how many was it? 4 or 5 women now, right? He's dated 4 or 5 women. I mean, granted, I honestly didn't feel like any of those were real relationships. He's just doing it for the sake of. I mean, I think it's just a PR stunt. I really didn't feel like the thing with Arena Shake. It's like, first of all, you know, I thought, okay, maybe like, you know, he's punched above his weight, whatever. But obviously, it's Kanye West.
Well,
right?
The money helps.
So exactly, the money helps. But it's sort of like, yeah, he's from a man's point of view, he's upgraded to a younger model and a way more attractive model. And I thought, okay, but then you didn't get to see them ever publicly, and there was like 1 or 2.
I think there was scenes of walking in the park or whatever, but
I don't know. I mean, you didn't see them kind of lovey-dovey. It was
No.
there was kind of no PDA or anything like that, and he just seems like such a grumpy bastard.
I don't think even with Kim, when they walk around, he's too much like, we're gonna pose now.
It's not posing. He just looks grumpy. He looks angry as anything, miserable.
Yeah, but that's just,
if he was an average guy, right, and with no money or just a 9-to-5 job, I'm telling you, no one would take his shit, right? He would be in an asylum right now.
I mean, he walks around giving death stares to people, but then that what I don't get is, like, when Britney started acting erratically, they censored her. They took away even any decision making.
I mean, they made the
do.
public think that she was completely, completely cuckoo. That was as far as it was.
And for me, I watched like her documentary, and it was crazy. Like, even just to go to get some gas for her car, she's surrounded to the point that she can't move her car, and she's just sitting there taking pictures. And this guy, we're celebrating
this guy has not
him.
only but on top of that, he's got like some kind of crazy security, so he doesn't have to deal with any of that kind of stuff. But like I said to you, I mean, you know what I've always said. I've never found this guy to be a genius. He's a media construct. Basically, we're told that his fashion is the best fashion in the world. We're told that his music is the best music in the world. He reminds me so much of, remember the Justin Timberlake, what was that song? Future Love, Sex, Sounds? Is that what
his album? Called? Yeah.
Right, that album. And I remember, like, when that came out, all of the media, every single music journalist was saying, oh, this is revolutionary, this is going to be, and saying whatever else, and that, you know, this Justin Timberlake, you know, he's kind of breaking the ground, he's going to be this new giant amazing star and whatnot. And let's face it, how many years down the line has it been? 10 or 15 years down the line? How long? Yeah. When was the last time we heard any of those songs from that album? Zero. So it was garbage. It's a media construct. Similarly with Kanye. Apart from that one song, when do you hear any of his old music like appear? Apart from that one, Gold Digger song or Jesus Walks. What's it called? Jesus Walks with Me?
Yes, there's that one.
Jesus Walks. That's it. That's the song. At the end of the day, I'm not saying that he's a bad musician or whatever else. But when you start banding around phrases like genius and whatnot, let the public make their own decisions before every single media outlet, every single journalist and magazine, whatever else, tells us that, oh, by the way, he's a genius. Look at this. He designed some clothes. No, so what gets to me is the fact that for all these years we've been told what an absolute gem of a guy he is. And I even had friends of mine who professed that he was like some kind of prophet. People buy this idea. As soon as there's enough media coverage, they start believing in the hype. They believe in the garbage that they're sold. What it boils down to is what we're seeing right now is an average guy with mental health problems. Yeah, great musician, but with mental health problems, and now he's going nuts. Fine, not even great musician. He's a musician who has managed to use a hell of a lot of really famous licks and famous samples, and then basically brought it into his music. And those are the ones that generally did really well. I don't rate him. I've never rated him as a musician in that way.
He himself, I don't think he's that transcendent as they make him out to be. I think where his gift lies is able to bring elements of, say, other singers, say, you sing like this, sing like that, will bring bringing all the elements together and not necessarily him participating.
Look,
but
that doesn't justify people calling him, giving him the monocle of genius. But it gets to me anyway.
It's not so much people gave it. That was his whole persona. He just went around calling himself that. At the end of it, it happened, I think, during a time where people enjoyed that. Oh, look, I just need to walk around with that level of confidence. And
no, I mean,
I think some people maybe connected with that. The fact that he walked around like, saying, you don't define me. I tell you what my definition is, in a sense. And people kind of related to that, connected or something. Because, yeah, I mean, the way he walks around, he's always moody. You see him is like, I'm just going to stand here, take my picture, go away. That's his sort of style that he's cultivated, and people somehow clicked
I don't
with.
even think, like, right now with Kim Kardashian, this is obviously, she's been wanting this divorce for a while now, and I really can't see any sense of relief that woman's going to have from this whole decision, because of the fact that everyone, I would say, I would be afraid of what this guy is potentially capable of, right? Because in the wrong state of mind, in the wrong moment, he could do something really crazy. I think he got sectioned. Was it last year or?
I don't think it was sectioned. I think just he said that he was upset that she showed up with a doctor in Wyoming.
Right. Well, I've got to eat my words a little bit, because I could understand why she would do that. Initially, when I heard that, I said, if you did the same thing to me, I'd be livid. But to be honest with you, now that I'm looking at this video about Pete Davidson, because that's really all that video is. That video, the entirety of that video is just nonsense, followed by him talking about what he wants to do to Pete Davidson, both visually and lyrically.
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of like any support that I've said about him in the past, you've moved on, supposedly. Well, you've moved on, what, 5 or 6 times now? He's been with different women. And she's been, I think this is the guy that she's been with after. I don't remember anybody else.
It started quite recently, isn't it?
And yeah, and it's not as if she sort of like thinks.
Was it November, December? So when did we?
I don't know. Yeah, but
because she filed for divorce Jan 2021.
Right. So I mean,
and since then he's been, gallivanting with girl after girl, no issue. There he is, his prudy self. But at some point, someone needs to call him up on it. You can't just facilitate and just keep saying, oh, he's a genius, he's just expressing himself, and just dismissing it like that. He's inciting hate.
At this point here, I don't even think...
And
yeah, there's definitely that.
His platform.
There's definitely
and
that.
his following. It just takes one...
insane person.
Crazy
which maybe
fan,
that's what he's banking on.
Crazy fan to go and do something... It's okay, Kanye, I've got your back. And just go and do something crazy, which is, I respect that. She actually called him and she replied, she tweeted back to him and said, Kanye, watch what you're doing. This is dangerous. Because that's the thing.
Look, I'll be on, like I said to you, I won't say I was on the fence, and there was a little bit of tongue in cheek in what I was saying. last time.
Yeah, no,
right?
you're just an idiot.
But thank you. But when you watch that video, you can't help but be disgusted and feel a sense of suddenly someone that I really don't like very much, in Pete Davidson, I felt an incredible amount of sympathy for. I know that Kanye is very good at manipulating the media, right? But I'm not sure whether he does it consciously or not. I mean, there's an element of him like doing it consciously when he's promoting all of these like whatever fashion products that he does, and his albums and all of the gimmicky little, what's that new thing called? It's the stem player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's called the stem player.
Yeah, I suppose if you want to be mixing on the go and you don't have to walk around with your laptop.
Yeah, but I mean, 200 quid, seriously, 200 quid for that? No.
Yeah, but then that's just him. That's his own persona. It's the same as you're buying. I mean, how much are his trainers? His Eazy.
Yeah. But I mean, people buy it. People fall for that shit.
Yeah, but
they're told by the media how amazing this stuff is. We're literally talking mortgage money here, and I just don't see it. You can't justify that kind of expense, and I don't know. I mean, obviously everyone's different. I'm just probably an old fogey, and so for me, this kind of stuff.
The age. I mean, you can see young, old, whatever. There's a lot of people now that somehow tied their existence and the whole image in. Look at all the expensive designer things that I have because I am of that level. It's as if, but then, yeah, you're seeing the rich people buy. It's because for them, it's a drop in the ocean. All these like celebrities that you see having their pictures taken, all that, probably for them they don't even pay for it. It's gifted.
Well,
because
what you're sort of saying is Kanye is kind of like a symptom of the decay of modern society.
Yeah, because when was the last time when we were growing up, our parents would be, oh, I'm going to go buy a t-shirt with holes in it, and people are not going to look at you funny. If you had a t-shirt with holes in it, you threw it away.
No, not just
you
that.
don't go out of your way to go and spend a lot of money to buy it with the holes. Just get a t-shirt and wear the damn life out of it.
We sound old, don't we? We sound super old.
It's not old. It's just common sense. It's just like, it's ridiculous.
I mean, the Pete Davidson video is shocking, right? And the kiss that you saw in SNL definitely doesn't justify.
That's not even a PG-13
exactly.
kiss.
So yeah. I mean, but this is on a different level of psychotic. This is slasher movie crazy. You're expecting Kanye to turn up with one of his masks. This wasn't just sort of like a movie shoot or a music video shoot that lasts a day and the idea's done and you can sit at the idea and think, ooh, should I really be doing this? Maybe we should do reshoots or whatever else. This is something that clay animation takes weeks, if not months. This was a process where they sat for weeks and weeks doing this animation, showing all of this horrible stuff happening. And Kanye, throughout that period, was fine with that. That's what I find so really uncomfortable.
Well, he's spewing it out. He's sort of, like what we said, fan. What about other people that have their relationships fall apart? And they're like, well, my man Kanye, this is how he reacted. So it's okay for me to react like that.
I mean, on top of that, the other thing is...
You get what I mean?
I know.
Some kids are finding this is their role model. And no one is, like in the media, it's a little bit funny, and nobody's saying, like, what the hell?
I mean, on top of that, look, sometimes it's the fact that the person that is festering the most doesn't have the opportunity to move on with somebody else. And so that maybe perhaps they're watching as their partner is sort of growing and changing. And this guy has really the creme de la creme of whoever he wants to sleep with after the event, after the breakup, right? And it's not as if he's held back from what we're supposed to believe. Fine, whether we do or we don't, we're supposed to believe that he went with Irina Shayk, and then after that, what it felt like was these gradual progressions into the next girl that he goes out with is called Venetria or Venetria. I don't know if I got it right. And again, I'll tell you the thing. Every single time, he looks miserable as hell. He looked miserable with Kim, and he looks miserable with a new girl. And then he goes on from Venetria to Yasmin Lopez, right? And I felt as though, I'll be honest with you, watching this, I felt as though he was slowly morphing back his girlfriends into the Kim. And that's what he's looking for every single time. He goes further with Julia Fox, who, granted, for me, I thought, that was his break from his norm. And then comes into, what's it called? Sorry, comes into, what the new girl, Cheney Jones. So why are you upset, dude? You've moved on, and now you've found a clone. You get the best of both worlds, because now you don't have to deal with apparently all of Kim's manipulations or whatever it was that he was upset with about her. You have no reason to have this kind of negative feeling in you.
No, you know what? I'm thinking this. This is just me, like, completely coming, being out there. It's almost, he wants Kim. Like, even with Kim, you can see he was a bit, like, he had some happy moments, and people see when he was looking at Kim, it was like, he was like, that man was like into her hard, even with his moody look. But I think, and possibly why you see him changing these women so often, yes, he gets them, but then I think, and he kind of tries to groom them. But I think very quickly he realizes that they're only with him for one reason. So
that's to promote themselves.
Yeah. So from an ego point of view, Kim chose to be with him, but she didn't need him the same way. She wasn't using him in that sense that these women are. And in a way, that's what he liked. But then he doesn't like the fact that, obviously, for a woman that doesn't really need to be with him, means it's going to be a lot more headstrong. And if it's things that she doesn't like, she can tell him where to go. But these girls wouldn't, because at the end of it, they know it's a relationship of convenience. I'm here, I will obey, because I'm going to get what I need out of you. So there's no that much sincerity.
No, well, you say that. Here's the thing. With the Julia Fox, we watched that interview with Julia Fox, and she was quite blatant about it. It seemed very much as though, to him, she was just a product that needed to look a certain way, behave a certain way, and publicly do the thing that he wanted her to do. And as long as she did exactly what he wanted, he was happy, right? And as soon as, and even then, when she didn't fit what he wanted to project, she was gone. And I think she knew very much from the get-go that this was a media relationship.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. He's sort of...
So I don't think it's a question of...
expects that kind of blind...
servitude.
Yeah. Because he knows it's like, you need me, I'll give you what you want, you're using me, but you better do what I want. Otherwise, I don't get...
yeah, but then he was doing the same thing with Kim. That's what you told me, that he was, every aspect...
Yeah, but he was doing... But then it was enough that when she didn't want, she would stand her ground to irritate him, and off he goes. Because they said that even if he didn't want to do Kardashian show, she still was doing it herself. He moved out. He went to Wisconsin or something. Wyoming. He bought an estate in Wyoming, something like that, and he lived there. So he wasn't even staying in the LA home. So probably for him, he probably would have liked her to stop even doing that reality show. But for her, she knows, okay, that's what made me. That's my... I think.
Look, what it boils
the heart
down
of my business. So I'm not going to give that up.
Everything that he does to me just reeks of a teenage boy in crisis. Okay, there is no maturity to the decisions that he makes. And as a man and as a dad, I'm telling you that regardless of what happens between us, I'm going to try incredibly hard to make sure, as best I can, that everything between us is okay. Because I know the reality is, if anything goes wrong with us, the kids will suffer. The kids will have to bear a massive brunt of whatever happens between us, right? And so when you're going to do stupid shit that he's pulled in the last couple of years, to me, all that shows is that he's got absolutely no sense of responsibility and no sense of maturity in the decisions he makes and how it's going to affect. He has no thought to how it's going to affect his children. Fine, forget Kim, although that's his wife. Forget the person that, you know, sort of like, at least she's an adult with a reasonable amount of support. But when you've got children who, at the end of the day, one of the primary people that those kids are looking up to is you as a father, and then you start behaving like that, there's no excuses for that. You suck it up, you get on with what you're supposed to do, you get on with being a husband, even if you don't like some things. You get on with being a husband, you get on with being a dad. If you care, you know, that much, and for damn sure you don't go out of your way and start threatening your ex and then threatening her boyfriend and expect not to have to deal with some kind of minimum damage control because of the fact that you've now gone on record to threaten, you've gone out of your way to threaten another human being.
Well, not just that, it's sort of he's recognizing what he puts out there, his social media communications. If it was so on the right, then why would he he filed a request in court for all his social media outbursts not to be admissible during the divorce? It means, you know, it's evidence that's going to go against you.
Look, I think there has to be an investigation on this. And I think that this needs to be escalated because, as far as I can see, looking and reflecting back on that video that he made, the Eazy video that he's made, it seems like he is literally inciting violence.
It's threatening behavior.
But when you do that, it's so, I don't know, it's so shady. It's so shady because you're like, only joking. That was the conclusion to the video, right? That which really pissed me off. The fact that he said all of that, what he's saying is, I essentially want to bury you. And then afterwards, his conclusion is, only joking. It's just jokes. It's a cop-out. He needs to take responsibility for what he's done. I mean, he just talked about it the other day in court that, you know, he's taking accountability.
Yeah.
Right? Accountability. Well, his idea of that word simply means that he's acknowledging the fact that what he's doing is wrong, perhaps. Or he's just acknowledging the fact that what he's doing is what he's doing. Unless
there's a change, just me saying, oh yeah, I lie a lot. But if I keep going around lying, how's that? Oh, I've demonstrated self-awareness, good for me. How's that?
It's just outrageous.
Any growth?
It's outrageous, the way in which he's sort of like, I think he understands, the thing that he knows best is how to manipulate the media. And so he makes these little, what's it called, sound bites. And that's what that is. Oh, I acknowledge what I've done. It's a meaningless soundbite. So, I hope that what it does is, I hope it starts to make people realize they need to start listening to their own minds and seeing whether this guy is truly some kind of genius, whether he's truly this sort of inspiration that we have been led to believe.
Call it crazy, and don't just say, oh, he's just a mad genius.
Because, again, I say to you, that genius monocle, it has been bandied around so often, right, by the media, and they do it purposefully to try and build up these types of characters like Kanye. They try and build up kind of relatively average people into these demagogues that they can then tear down eventually and keep that news cycle going. If you liked our content today, please like and subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments.